You don't get rich by cutting back. You get rich by using leverage. If your biggest question is, how can I save $10? You're playing the wrong game. The rich don't ask that. They ask, how can I make $10,000 with one move? That's the difference between saving and leverage. We're raised with a common lesson. Be frugal, be smart, look for discounts, save every penny. So we grow up learning how to clip coupons, how to chase sales, how to spend hours hunting for bargains, how to shrink our lives to fit our paychecks. But the wealthy, they're taught a very different rule. Don't shrink, scale. They don't obsess over how to save a few dollars. They obsess over how to unlock leverage, the tool that turns one effort into many results. They don't chase small wins. They build systems that win on autopilot. This is the mindset shift that changes everything. Stop asking, how can I spend less? Start asking, how can I multiply more? Because here's the truth. You will never save your way to freedom, but you can leverage your way to wealth. This video is your wake-up call. We're going to show you why chasing discounts keeps you poor and how learning to use leverage, money, time, skills, systems is the real game changer. You're not broke because of one big mistake. You're broke because you're playing a small game. It's time to upgrade the rules you live by. Ready? Let's begin. The discount mentality. How the poor stay busy saving pennies. Let's start with the brutal truth. Most people aren't poor because they don't work hard. They're poor because they focus on the wrong things. One of the biggest traps? The discount mentality. The idea that you're being smart by saving a few dollars here and there, driving across town for cheaper gas, spending an hour scrolling for promo codes, wasting a weekend on DIY repairs to avoid paying a professional, obsessing over buy one, get one free deals for things you don't even need. It feels productive, it feels responsible, but in reality, it's financial busy work that keeps you distracted from doing anything truly valuable. Idea: saving is linear, leverage is exponential. When you chase discounts, you might save $5, maybe $50, but that's it. One action equals one small result. Now contrast that with leverage. Build a skill, use it to earn over and over. Invest in a system, it runs without you. Train someone, they multiply your impact. Create content once, it earns for years. Leverage is one action equals 100 results. That's how the rich think. That's how they win. Why the poor cling to discounts? It's not because they're lazy or dumb. It's because they've been programmed to survive, not thrive. When you live paycheck to paycheck, every dollar feels like a lifeline. So saving $10 feels like a win. It gives a quick dopamine hit, like, look, I was smart with money. But this mindset comes at a cost. You start believing that being good with money means constantly shrinking, that success comes from sacrificing, that your only power lies in cutting costs. And here's the irony. The more time you spend trying to save small amounts, the less time you have to build something big. Stop. You cannot shrink your way to wealth. No one gets rich clipping coupons. No one gets free by chasing deals. No one builds an empire by thinking small. You have to ask, are you spending your time saving money when you should be learning how to make more of it? You don't need more discipline around discounts. You need more vision. Because every minute you spend on saving $2 is a minute stolen from building $2,000. The discount mentality is the ultimate distraction. It keeps you busy, but not wealthy. It keeps you afraid, not empowered. Let the broke chase pennies. You're here to chase leverage. Leverage, the hidden superpower of the wealthy. What is the one thing that separates the wealthy from everyone else? It's not luck, It's not IQ, it's not even hard work. It's leverage. While most people trade time for money, the rich trade ideas, assets, people, and systems to multiply their outcomes without multiplying their effort. What is leverage? Leverage is simple to define but hard for most people to apply. Leverage means doing one thing that creates many results. It's the opposite of working harder. It's about working smarter and letting tools, people, money, or systems carry the weight for you. There are four main types of leverage. Time leverage, using other people's time. Money leverage, using capital to scale results. Skill leverage, turning talent into repeatable value. System leverage, building machines that work without you. Let's break each one down. Time leverage. Other people work while you rest. Poor people do everything themselves. Rich people build teams. They don't mow their lawns, file paperwork, or run every task. They hire someone, or better yet, they automate it. Why? Because they know one truth. If you're doing $10 an hour work, you'll never earn $10,000 an hour results. The rich buy back their time and reinvest it into high-value thinking, building, or creating. Money leverage. Your dollars become soldiers. Poor people fear using money. Rich people make money move. They invest in marketing, automation, intellectual property, real estate, startups, anything that can multiply itself. They know money is not just for saving, it's for scaling. Instead of hiding money in a savings account, they plant it like a seed, and that seed grows even when they're asleep. Target leverage. Your talent multiplied. A poor person's skill stops with a paycheck. A rich person's skill scales beyond themselves. For example, a chef opens a restaurant. A writer launches a best-selling course. A programmer builds an app. A speaker creates a global YouTube channel. It's not about how talented you are. It's about how well you leverage that talent into something repeatable and scalable. System leverage. Machines that print value. This is the crown jewel of wealth. Systems. Rich people build processes, platforms, and machines that generate income without needing constant attention. Think a drop-shipping business running on autopilot, an affiliate website making sales 24/7, a sales funnel that turns ads into income, a licensing deal that pays royalties for years. While others grind hour by hour, the wealthy build systems that earn non-stop. The real power of leverage. Leverage frees you from the time for money trap. It breaks the ceiling on how much you can earn, and it gives you what the poor never seem to have: freedom, options, scale, control. The poor ask, how can I work more to earn more? The rich ask, how can I build something once that pays me forever? That's the power of leverage, and it's available to anyone, including you, if you stop thinking like a laborer and start thinking like a builder. Outcome thinking versus effort thinking. Why the rich don't work more, they work smarter. Let's talk about one of the most dangerous myths society teaches you. If you want more money, work harder. It sounds noble, responsible, even obvious. But here's the catch. It's not how wealth is built. Poor and middle-class people are conditioned to believe that effort equals income. The more hours you work, the more you earn. The harder you grind, the more you deserve. But wealth isn't a reward for effort. It's a reward for outcomes. And the difference between the two is massive. Effort thinking. I worked 10 hours today, I deserve more. I've been hustling non-stop, why am I still broke? If I just work weekends too, maybe I can save up enough. This mindset keeps you on the hamster wheel, always running, never getting anywhere. Why? Because effort is capped. You only have 24 hours a day. Even if you work every waking hour, your earning potential still hits a ceiling. Outcome thinking. What can I build that keeps earning after I stop? How can I make one effort that pays me 10 times? Is there a smarter way to do this, not just a harder way? The wealthy don't get paid for hours. They get paid for results. A copywriter gets paid $20 an hour. A top-tier marketer gets $20,000 for a campaign that generates $2 million. Same industry, same tools, different mindset, different outcomes. Why effort thinking feels safer but costs you more? Here's the problem. Effort feels honorable. It gives us a sense of control. We think, at least I'm doing something. But in reality, working harder at the wrong level is a form of procrastination. You're avoiding the bigger question: how do I move the needle? The janitor who cleans 40 floors instead of 20 is still a janitor. But the one who creates a cleaning business, trains others, builds contracts, they change the game entirely. A better question to ask. Instead of asking, how can I do more? Ask, what can I create once that produces ongoing results? That's how writers create books that sell forever. Developers create apps that scale across the world. Entrepreneurs build businesses that grow while they sleep. They're not chasing hours, they're chasing impact. Stop the truth you were never taught. Hard work is honorable, but not always profitable. Effort matters, but when it's not aligned with leverage and outcome, it becomes a trap. You stay tired, frustrated, and stuck, even when you're doing everything right. The rich escape that trap by refusing to be busy for the sake of it. They're not impressed with effort, they're focused on effectiveness. So ask yourself, are you proud of how hard you're working, or are you proud of what your work is producing? If the answer is not much, it's not because you're lazy. It's because you've been taught to value motion more than progress. Change the question, change your results. Stop counting hours, start building outcomes. The psychological trap of penny saving wins. If you've ever felt a rush of pride after using a coupon, catching a sale, or getting something for 50% off, you're not alone. It feels good, doesn't it? That little high when you think, I outsmarted the system. I saved money. But what if I told you that moment of pride is the exact reason you're still stuck? Because it's not just a habit, it's a trap. A psychological trick that keeps you thinking small, celebrating crumbs, and missing the feast. Let's break it down. Why saving $2 feels like winning. The human brain is wired for short-term rewards. It loves instant gratification. Saving a few bucks gives you a quick dopamine hit, a sense of control, and a feeling of victory. You think, I was smart, I beat the system, I'm being responsible. But here's the truth. It's a sugar rush, not a strategy. You're winning in the moment, but losing the bigger game. False rewards, real consequences. Every time you chase small savings, you train your brain to celebrate shrinking. You're not building wealth, you're reinforcing survival mode. And it gets worse. You begin to equate effort with savings. You spend hours researching how to save pennies. You feel guilty for every purchase, even if it brings long-term value. You start to fear losing more than you dream of gaining. This isn't financial wisdom, it's financial fear dressed up as discipline. The scarcity mindset hiding behind sales. At its core, this obsession with discounts reveals a deeper issue, a belief that money is limited, that there's never enough, that your only option is to protect, conserve, reduce. But the rich, they operate from abundance. They ask, How do I increase the pie? How do I build more value? How do I multiply instead of minimize? Where the poor see a discount, the rich see opportunity cost. If I spend 2 hours saving $10, what am I losing in return? That's the real equation. The hidden cost of penny-wise thinking. Let's be blunt. If you spend 3 hours figuring out how to save $20, you're valuing your time at $6.66 an hour. If you put off buying a tool that would save you 10 hours a month because it costs $50, you're paying in time, not money. If you spend your entire mental bandwidth thinking about how to cut costs, you have none left for how to grow income. The poor see cost, the rich see value. Flip the script from saver to strategist. It's not wrong to want a good deal. It's dangerous when that becomes your entire identity, because every win in discount hunting cements the mindset. I'm not powerful enough to earn more, so I must settle for less. It kills ambition, it kills risk, it kills vision. And worst of all, it feels responsible. That's why it's so deadly, because it hides behind logic. But the truth is, no one saves their way to financial freedom. You multiply your way there. You can keep clipping coupons and feel smart, or you can start building leverage and become powerful. You can feel in control, or you can actually take control. Stop chasing discounts to feel like you're winning. Start building value so you actually win. You're not poor because you don't save. You're poor because you don't scale. Let's kill one of the most toxic lies society teaches you. If you just save hard enough, you'll eventually become wealthy. No, you won't. You're not poor because you don't save enough. You're poor because you don't scale. Savings has a limit, but scaling has no ceiling. And if you don't understand this truth, you will spend your entire life trying to stretch scraps instead of building streams. What does scale actually mean? Scaling is about growing results without growing effort at the same rate. It means serving 100 customers with the same energy it takes to serve one. Earning $10,000 from one digital product you made last year. Building a business that keeps running while you sleep. Letting capital, code, people, or systems do the heavy lifting. It's the opposite of hustle. Hustling is linear, scaling is exponential. And that's why the rich chase scale, not savings. Why saving alone keeps you small. Let's do the math. Suppose you manage to save $5,000 this year. You've skipped the coffees, ate at home, canceled subscriptions. Great effort, but $5,000 won't buy you freedom. It might not even cover 1 month of real emergencies. Now compare that to someone who launches a scalable product, a course, an app, a book, a service with systems. Even a modest win, say $200 a month in passive income, is repeatable and stackable. Over 5 years, it's more than $12,000 and still growing. Saving protects, scaling builds. And you don't get rich by defending your pennies. You get rich by expanding your reach. The wall between you and wealth isn't money, it's multiplication. Most people think, I'll start investing or building once I save more. But that mindset is backward. You don't wait to scale. You start small and scale smart. Your first ebook might sell 10 copies. Your first video might get 100 views. Your first digital product might bring $50. That's okay, because anything that can be repeated without repeating the work is a seed of scale, and seeds grow faster than saved pennies. The poverty loop. saving without scaling. Here's how most people live. Work hard, get paid, save a little, repeat. No leverage, no automation, no compound effect. And worst of all, no exit plan. You're working hard inside the system, but never building anything outside of it. That's not a life, that's a trap. The wealth loop. Scale over save. Here's how the wealthy operate. Build once, launch or invest, automate or delegate, scale up. Then they do it again, but bigger. Each cycle makes the next easier. They're not just making money, they're building machines that make money. A new financial question. What scales? Every time you make a decision, ask this. Does this scale? That job? No, it pays once per hour. That ad campaign? Yes, it reaches thousands while you sleep. That investment in your own brand? Yes, it can pay forever. That attempt to save $7 on groceries? No, it ends at checkout. You don't need to become a millionaire today. You just need to start making scalable moves. You've been taught to be a good saver, but savers don't escape the game. Builders do. So if you're tired of playing small, of saving scraps, of feeling stuck, stop asking, how can I cut back? Start asking, how can I scale up? Because freedom isn't in frugality, it's in multiplication. Time is the first leverage the rich buy and the poor waste. Let's talk about the most valuable asset you will ever have. Not money, not status, not education. Time. And here's the cold truth. The rich buy time. The poor sell it. The middle class waste it. If you don't understand this, nothing else matters, because every opportunity, every investment, every transformation you want is paid for in time. How the poor treat time like it's infinite. When money's tight, time seems cheap, so poor people trade it for crumbs. Driving across town to save $3, standing in long lines for a freebie, doing every task themselves to avoid paying someone else, delaying their dreams until someday, which never comes. The logic is this: I don't have money, but I have time, so I'll use that. But time isn't unlimited. You can always make more money, you will never make more time. Once it's gone forever. How the rich use money to buy back time. The wealthy play a different game entirely. They ask one question constantly: is this the highest use of my time? If it's not, they outsource it, automate it, eliminate it. They don't clean their houses, file their taxes, or fix their plumbing. Not because they're lazy, but because their time is too valuable. If they can earn $500 an hour doing what they're best at, and outsource a task for $25 an hour, then every hour spent not outsourcing is a $475 loss. They're not frugal, they're strategic. Time poverty is the root of financial poverty. Most people think they're broke because of low income, but the real problem? They're too busy to escape. Too busy surviving to learn a new skill. Too busy working to build a side income. Too busy doing everything themselves to create leverage. It's not a lack of effort, it's a lack of time freedom. And the irony? They keep trading time for money instead of using money to buy back time so they can build real wealth. Time rich versus time broke. Two lives, two paths. Time broke people wake up tired, fill their day with low-value tasks, end the week wondering where the time went, and repeat the cycle. Time-rich people protect their mornings, delegate everything below their value level, schedule time to think, plan, and build, use their calendar as a weapon, not a cage. This difference creates a compounding effect over years. One ends up exhausted, the other ends up free. The first investment you should make is your time. Before you buy stocks, real estate, or a business, buy back your time. Cancel the distractions, eliminate busy work, pay someone to do the low-level stuff, automate repetitive tasks, say no to things that don't multiply your value. Every hour you protect becomes an hour you can invest into building something bigger than you. That's the real leverage. You're not stuck because you're not working hard. You're stuck because your time is trapped in things that don't scale. So ask yourself, what would a wealthy person never spend their time doing that I'm still doing today? Then stop doing it, because the rich aren't smarter than you. They're just playing the game with a different clock, and they're winning. Skill and knowledge, the silent leverage the poor ignore. If you lost all your money today, what would you have left? For most people, the answer is panic. For the wealthy, the answer is leverage, because they've built something no one can take away. Skills, knowledge, insight, strategy. These aren't just traits, they are silent weapons, tools the rich use to create income, impact, and independence over and over again. And here's the shocking truth. Most poor people never think of their skills as assets. They trade them for paychecks instead of scaling them for power. The poor mindset is learn a skill to get a job, do the job to get paid, repeat until retirement or burnout. The rich mindset is learn a skill to create value, use the skill to solve scalable problems, turn that skill into products, systems, or businesses, multiply results through leverage. Same starting point, different ending game. Why skills are the most underused form of leverage? Think of this. A designer can work for $25 an hour or build templates that sell thousands of times. A coach can charge $50 an hour or launch a course that earns $50,000 while they sleep. A writer can do freelance gigs or write a book that pays royalties for life. A mechanic can fix one car or teach car maintenance on YouTube to millions. The same skill becomes massive leverage when you stop trading it for time. Most people cap their skill. The wealthy scale it. 3 ways the rich turn skills into leverage. Teach it. Create courses, ebooks, consulting, workshops. People pay not just for what you do, but for what you know. Automate it. Build tools, templates, or systems others can use. Turn your knowledge into a process that works without you. License it. Build intellectual property that others pay to use. Protect and scale your skill as an asset, not just labor. This is how one person can go from earning $3,000 a month to earning $300,000 a year from the same skill just applied at scale. Why the poor underestimate themselves? It's not because they're not smart, it's because they've been trained to ask the wrong question. Who will hire me? Instead of, what can I build with what I know? The system pushes us to become obedient workers, not valuable creators. But here's what the rich understand. Skills are the most portable, scalable, compounding form of leverage on Earth. And if you treat yours like a job ticket instead of a launch pad, you'll stay in the same spot forever. Your greatest asset isn't money, it's you. Before you chase the next opportunity, stop and ask, what do I know that others don't? What have I done that can be turned into a repeatable process? What could I teach, package, automate, or systemize? Because your income will never outgrow your value to the market. And value doesn't come from grinding harder. It comes from applying what you know at a higher level. You don't need a bigger paycheck. You need a bigger vision for your skill set. The rich don't win because they have more talent. They win because they use their talent differently. So stop ignoring the knowledge in your head. It's not just experience, it's leverage waiting to be unlocked. Money is a tool, not a trophy. How the rich use capital to create more capital. Most people see money as the finish line. Once I earn more, I'll be safe. If I can just save enough, I'll be free. When I hit 6 figures, I'll finally relax. But the rich don't think like that, because to them, money is not a trophy, it's a tool, a lever, a force multiplier, a soldier in an army of wealth. The poor cling to money, the rich deploy it. And that mindset, not your income, determines your future. Poor and middle-class people accumulate money to feel secure. They stack it in savings accounts, hold it tightly, and fear spending it. But the problem is, saved money doesn't grow. Deployed money does. That's why the wealthy aren't afraid to spend capital strategically. They invest it into tools that create efficiency, systems that scale, talent that multiplies output, assets that produce cash flow, ideas that build future value. They don't ask, "Can I afford this?" They ask, "What return will this create?" Why most people are afraid to use money? It's not a math problem, it's an emotion problem. They fear losing it, looking stupid, making the wrong move, not knowing what they're doing. So they do the safe thing of hoarding it. But in a world of inflation and opportunity cost, hoarding is losing. Money sitting idle is value decaying. The rich know this, so they move fast, bet smart, and keep money in motion. Money has one job, to multiply itself. Every dollar you earn is a worker. Its job is to go out, build value, and come back with more dollars. But if you lock it in a vault, it dies of boredom. It doesn't grow, it doesn't contribute, it doesn't help you scale. The rich treat every dollar like a decision. Will this dollar just sit there, or will it create something bigger than itself? That's the game. Not saving, scaling. Examples of how the rich use money as leverage. A $500 investment in email software builds a 7-figure funnel. A $2,000 ad campaign brings in $20,000 of new clients. A $10,000 hire saves 40 hours a week and increases output. A $100 stock or crypto investment grows into $1,000. A $1,000 course unlocks a new skill that generates lifelong income. These aren't expenses, they're multipliers. But you only see them that way if you believe money is a tool, not just a treasure. Money is not the goal, freedom is. You don't want stacks of cash for the sake of it. You want control over your time, the ability to say no, choices, safety for your family, a life where you're not a slave to every bill. And guess what creates that? Money in motion, money at work, money with a mission. The poor wait for the perfect time to invest. The rich invest to create the perfect time. You can fear money, you can worship it, or you can use it. The poor ask, "How do I keep this?" The rich ask, "How do I make this grow?" If money is sitting still in your life, it's not protecting you, it's costing you. Stop treating money like a glass trophy. Start using it like a hammer to build your future. Leverage through people. Why the wealthy never build alone. There's a limit to how much you can do alone. Your time is limited. Your energy is limited. Your attention is limited. And that's why the wealthy know something most people never fully understand. You don't get rich alone. You build leverage through people. If you're trying to be a one-person army, doing it all yourself, you're not building wealth, you're building a prison. The poor work alone. The rich build teams. Poor and middle-class people often see delegation as a luxury, something you do once you make it. But here's the truth. You can't make it unless you delegate. Wealthy people don't wait until they're rich to use help. They become rich because they use help. They don't say, "I'll do everything myself to save money." They ask, "Who can do this better, faster, cheaper than me, so I can focus on my zone of genius?" That's leverage. Why most people fear letting go? There are 3 reasons most people avoid building teams. Control. No one can do it like I can. Cost. I can't afford to hire help. Confidence. I don't know how to lead others. But here's what you must realize. Every hour you spend doing low-value tasks is an hour stolen from high-impact moves. The rich aren't afraid to give up control because they're focused on scale. They'd rather own 10% of something massive than 100% of something small. People as multipliers, not just helpers. The poor see people as a cost. The rich see people as an engine. They hire people who save them time, increase capacity, add new perspectives, unlock doors they couldn't open alone. They know that one smart hire can do more for their business than 5 years of solo hustle. You don't win by being the smartest in the room. You win by building a room of smart people. Who is more powerful than how? Poor mindset. How do I do this? Rich mindset. Who can do this for me better than I ever could? That single shift in thinking is worth millions, because while you're spending weeks trying to learn a new skill, a wealthy person already hired the expert and moved on to the next deal. The rich don't waste time proving they can do it all. They invest their time where it produces maximum returns. Trust, delegation, and scaling up. Delegating doesn't mean disappearing. It means building systems powered by people. You still lead, you still think, but you don't carry every load. The wealthiest people in the world ask, "What should I never do again? What am I doing that someone else can do 80% as well? Where is my time most valuable today?" If your hands are full of tasks, your mind can't be full of vision. You were never meant to do this alone. Not if you want to grow, not if you want freedom, not if you want scale. The poor ask, "How can I do more?" The rich ask, "Who can help me go further?" You're not weak for asking for help. You're smart for building leverage, because no empire was ever built by one person, and yours won't be either. The true cost of thinking small and working solo. You've been praised for being independent. You've been admired for being a hard worker. You take pride in doing it all yourself. No help, no shortcuts, no handouts. But what if I told you that mindset is exactly why you're stuck? You think you're saving money. You think you're being responsible. But in reality, you're paying a hidden price every single day. Because thinking small and working solo has a cost. And it's far more expensive than you realize. The illusion of independence. We glorify the lone wolf, the one who grinds, struggles, and overcomes all odds alone. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Independence feels heroic until you burn out. Trying to do it all slows you down, limits your capacity, drains your energy, and caps your impact. It feels efficient in the short term, but over time, it's a recipe for exhaustion, not expansion. How thinking small quietly shrinks your life. When you think small, you make decisions based on fear. What's the cheapest option? How can I play it safe? Let me avoid risk and stick to what I know. I'll wait until everything is perfect. You delay, you doubt, you downsize your dreams. And without realizing it, you shrink your life to match your comfort zone. instead of stretching your comfort zone to match your potential. Small thinking doesn't protect you, it suffocates you. Working solo feels smart until it becomes your ceiling. You think doing it all yourself saves money, but here's what it really costs you: time, momentum, scale, peace of mind, and the compounding effect of collaboration. Every hour you spend learning something someone else already mastered is an hour not spent on what you're great at. Every task you hold on to out of pride is a bottleneck in your growth, and every moment you delay asking for help is a moment you fall further behind. You're not saving, you're self-sabotaging. The compound damage of small and solo. Here's how it happens. You try to save money by doing it all yourself. You burn hours on low-level tasks and fall behind on big opportunities. You feel overwhelmed and overworked. You doubt yourself and play even smaller. Your results stay flat or decline. This is the hamster wheel that keeps millions trapped, not because they're not smart, but because they're too proud to build differently. Real power comes from scale, not struggle. You weren't meant to hustle forever. You were meant to build systems, teams, and strategies that outgrow your own effort. That's how the wealthy live. They don't ask, "What can I do today?" They ask, "What can I create today that will produce results every day after?" It's not about doing more. It's about building smarter. And you can't do that if your entire business, income, or life is still tied to you doing everything manually. Trade pride for power. You don't need to prove how hard you work. You need to show how well you can scale what you do. Because working alone may feel noble, but working alone is also what keeps your income, your energy, and your life small. The true cost of thinking small and working solo? A life where your potential is never fully used and your freedom is never truly earned. So here's the truth. You can either be proud of doing it all yourself, or you can be free. The rich build teams. The rich delegate. The rich think big and let others help them get there. If you're serious about wealth, it's time to stop shrinking and start scaling. From cutting costs to creating value, the shift that changes everything. If your financial strategy revolves around cutting costs, trimming expenses, and saving a few bucks here and there, you're playing defense. And here's the truth about defense. It might keep you alive, but it will never make you free. At some point, you have to make the shift from conserving to creating, from minimizing to multiplying, from cutting costs to creating value. This mindset shift, it's the dividing line between the broke and the wealthy. Rethinking defensive mindset. How do I spend less? This is how most people are trained to think. Can I cut this subscription? Can I eat out less this month? Can I delay buying that thing I need? Can I live on less? It sounds smart. It feels responsible. But here's the problem. You can only cut so much. You can't shrink your way to abundance. At some point, you hit zero, and there's nowhere else to cut. Embracing offensive mindset. How do I create more? Wealthy people ask different questions. How can I create something others want? How can I turn this idea into a product? How can I solve a problem and get paid for it? How can I build once and earn forever? Instead of focusing on less, they focus on more, but not more effort, more value. Because they understand, money flows to value, always. If you want more money, don't cut more expenses, create more value. Limitations of cost-cutting strategies. Cutting costs might save you a few $100s a month, but it comes with invisible losses. Mental fatigue from constantly depriving yourself. Missed opportunities because you were too focused on surviving. Diminished vision because your brain is stuck in fear mode. It's like trying to win a race by hitting the brakes gently instead of slamming into the wall. You're still not moving forward. Unleash the power of value creation. Here's what happens when you shift to value creation. You stop seeing people as competitors and start seeing them as customers. You stop asking, "What do I need to survive?" and start asking, "What can I build that thrives?" You stop fearing money and start mastering how to attract it. Value creation means solving problems. And every time you solve a real problem for someone, you create a doorway to wealth. That's the mindset shift. Don't obsess over saving $1. Obsess over earning 1,000 by helping someone. Embrace value creation over cost saving. Real examples of the shift. Instead of cutting back on coffee, someone creates a coffee brand. Instead of canceling streaming subscriptions, someone builds a YouTube channel. Instead of skipping meals out, someone writes a guide to eating healthy on a budget and sells it. Instead of living paycheck to paycheck, someone builds a side hustle teaching what they already know. It's the same world, same economy, different questions, different mindset, radically different results. Build the habit of value creation. Start asking yourself every day, what did I create today that someone else finds valuable? What skill, product, message, or system am I building that multiplies? What small move today can compound tomorrow? Even small things, a single post, a product idea, a connection made, can start the momentum. Because creation compounds, cutting doesn't. You're not poor because you didn't cut enough. You're poor because you haven't built enough value in the marketplace. The rich don't fear expenses. They focus on expansion. They don't live to survive. They build to serve and scale. So the question is, will you keep playing small, trying to save your way to freedom? Or will you finally make the shift from cutting costs to creating value? Start small, think big, scale smart. The real path to wealth. You don't need to be a millionaire to start building wealth. You don't need a perfect idea, a massive audience, or even a lot of money. You just need this: a willingness to start small, a mindset that thinks big, and a strategy that scales smart. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Every big empire began as a tiny decision. One blog post, one product, one video, one sale, one leap of faith. Wealth isn't built all at once. It's built in layers, starting with what you have right now. So, what keeps most people from starting? They think, it's not perfect yet. I don't have enough money. I need more time, more knowledge, more followers. I'll start when I'm ready. But you'll never feel fully ready. You'll never have the perfect moment. Waiting for clarity is often just a sophisticated form of fear. The rich don't wait for permission. They move with what they have. Then they build momentum. Start small, but start now. You don't need a 10-step business plan. You need one step you can take today. Write something, build something, share something, sell something, solve something. Every skill you've learned, every failure you've had, every lesson you carry, it all becomes material for building value. Don't underestimate small beginnings. The key is not how big you start, it's that you start at all. Think big, even while you're small. While your hands are building today, your mind must be focused on scale. Ask yourself, can this be automated later? Can this serve more than one person? Can this become a product, a system, or a business? How can I do this once and earn from it forever? Thinking big means you're building with the end in mind, even if the beginning is humble. Scale smart, not just fast. In the rush to get rich quick, many people skip over the most important part, building something that lasts. The rich scale intentionally. They systemize what works. They automate what's repeatable. They hire when it adds capacity. They invest in infrastructure, not just flash. They grow sustainably, not just quickly. You don't need viral success. You need compounding results that grow without burning you out. That's the difference between hustle and wealth. Real-world examples of smart scaling. A freelancer turns their process into a paid course. A coach starts with one-on-one clients, then launches group programs. A writer grows from blog posts to books, then builds a brand. An online seller begins with handmade items, then automates fulfillment. All of them started small, but they designed for growth. That's the secret. Don't build for now, build for next. This isn't motivation, it's a blueprint. Starting small gives you speed. Thinking big gives you direction. Scaling smart gives you endurance. Without all three, you stall, you spin, you burn out. But with them, you move like the wealthy do, with intention, focus, and exponential power. So what do you do today? You start where you are, with what you know and who you are. But you don't stay there. You think bigger than your circumstances. You build smarter than your past, and you scale beyond what you thought was possible. Because wealth isn't about what you have, it's about how you build with what you have. Start small, think big, scale smart. That's how real freedom is built. Financial freedom comes from building leverage, not just earning more. Let's clear up one of the biggest myths about money. High income does not equal financial freedom. There are doctors making $300,000 a year who are still stressed, overworked, and chained to their calendars. And there are creators earning $30,000 a month who only work a few hours a week with full control over their time. What's the difference? One earns more. The other has leverage. Because financial freedom isn't about how much you earn, it's about how well you build. Repeat the income trap, trading more time for more money. Here's how most people chase freedom. Work harder, get promoted, take on more clients, say yes to everything, climb the ladder. They think, once I hit X dollars per year, I'll be free. But that path often leads to more hours, more stress, more responsibility, less time, less peace. You're making more, but you're also losing more. Because if your income depends entirely on your time and energy, you don't own your life. Your job does. Idea: the leverage shift. Building instead of hustling. Wealthy people ask a different question. How can I earn without showing up? Not because they're lazy, but because they understand time is limited, energy is finite, life is short. So they stop obsessing over income and start building leverage. That means systems that run 24/7, products that sell themselves, businesses that grow without them, investments that pay them forever. That's true freedom. Unlocked. Why leverage equals liberation? Let's compare two people. Alex earns $200,000 a year, working 60 hours a week, managing 10 people, constantly under pressure. Sam earns $80,000 a year from online courses, affiliate income, and a small automated business. Who's freer? Sam. Because Sam has no boss, time freedom, location freedom, peace of mind, the power to scale without burnout, and over time, Sam can scale up, but Alex stays stuck. Freedom isn't in the paycheck. It's in the structure behind it. Earned income versus leveraged income. Earned income is active effort, tied to time, stops when you stop. Leveraged income is detached from time, built from systems, grows even when you rest. That's the difference between being rich and being free. One pays the bills, the other buys your life back. FIRE. Leverage is the exit strategy. You can work hard forever and never escape, or you can build smart and give yourself an exit. Leverage is the bridge between survival and sovereignty. It's the tool that turns effort into assets. It's the engine that lets you earn on your terms. You don't need millions to retire. You need income that doesn't depend on you. That's what leverage gives you. So ask yourself, are you chasing more money or are you building more leverage? Because income alone won't set you free. Only ownership, automation, and scale will. Freedom is the real flex, and leverage is how you get there. Final question. Are you playing the right game? Let's pause everything. Forget your job title. Forget your income. Forget what you've been taught about doing the right thing. And ask yourself one question that will define your financial future. Am I playing the right game? Because most people aren't. They're stuck in a game that was designed to keep them small, tired, obedient, and broke. A game of chasing discounts, a game of saving scraps, a game of doing everything yourself, a game of working harder for less freedom. And they wonder why they never win. What game are you playing? The poor play the game of survival. They cut costs. They cling to every dollar. They think small because they've been taught to shrink. The middle class plays the game of comfort. They aim for just enough: a safe job, a mortgage, a vacation, a retirement plan. No big risks, no real leverage. The rich? They play the game of leverage. They don't trade time for money. They don't do everything alone. They don't settle for linear growth. They build systems, buy time, multiply skills, and scale ideas. They aren't better than you. They just play a better game. If you're losing, change the game. Here's the truth. You can work hard for 40 years and still lose if you're playing the wrong game. The rules reward leverage, not labor. Assets, not hours. Scale, not struggle. Vision, not just discipline. You don't need more hustle. You need new rules. Because trying harder in the wrong game doesn't make you successful. It just makes you exhausted. It's not too late to switch. You can start late. You can start broke. You can start with nothing but your time, your brain, and your grit. But you must start playing the right game. That means stop asking, how can I save more? And start asking, how can I build leverage that lasts? Stop doing everything yourself. Start learning to replace yourself with tools, systems, and people. Stop fearing money. Start using money as a tool to buy back your life. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be playing with power. Your life is the scoreboard. Look at your calendar. Look at your bank account. Look at your peace of mind. They are not random. They are a reflection of the game you've been playing. If you don't like the scoreboard, don't just push harder. Change the game. Change the moves, change the rules, and you will change your life. You've spent enough time chasing discounts. It's time to chase leverage. Because you can't cut your way to wealth, you can only build your way there. And the only real question left is, are you ready to stop playing small and start playing smart?